Now, The Hunt Palmer Show.
He needs care and treatment.
You are now listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Is this a great country or what?
Locking down the middle of the day, live from the Raising Cane studio. This is Hunt Palmer.
Hour 2, Monday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show, right here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. We're brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Find them online at guaranteehealth.com, guaranteehealth.com. All right, we'll get back to LSU baseball coming up in 15 minutes. And we'll do a little Garrett Nussmeier as well in this hour because he had some news that broke about him earlier today. But I want to get to the Saints here to start the hour. And I'm just going to apologize up front. I'm going to apologize. I have to do it. I'm going to give you a segment here that might be a waste of time. It might be a waste of time. But I would not do it if I didn't feel like it made all the sense in the world. I have not seen any of the Rocky movies. I don't know them. Never seen one.
Oh, that's egregious. That's egregious.
Never
right
seen
there.
one.
Not one.
But there is a line that I know where Rocky says, everybody can change, right? He's in the ring.
Okay.
Everybody can change. Yeah, he says that. And I'm living by Rocky's words here, even though I've never heard them. Everybody can change, okay?
Yes.
They got to trade back. They have to trade back.
What are we doing?
I'm looking at these mock drafts. There's now 1 billion of them out there, okay?
There are 1 million.
And I keep looking and I keep going, they can do this. There is a CBS mock draft that has them trading back. They trade in this CBS mock draft with the Cowboys. The Cowboys come up to take Sonny Styles at 8, and the Saints trade back to 12.
Okay.
And at 12, they get Reuben Bain.
Ooh.
Now, I don't know what the compensation would be. I don't know how much you would get for moving back 4 spots. But the point remains that Reuben Bain, they could take him at 8. If he's there at 12, that's awesome. And I'm looking at the ESPN mock draft. And that one has the Saints taking Mansour Delane at 8, which I'm completely fine with. But I looked beyond it, and I'm like, okay, well, what's after the Saints? They've got the Chiefs taking Reuben Bain at 9. They've got the Giants taking Caleb Downs at 10. Later on, Mekhi Lemon goes at 13. And Jermod McCoy goes at 15. And Jordan Tyson goes at 16. I'm okay with all these guys, and they're available, and I don't think there's some slam dunk gotta have it at 8. Like, there's not a position that is important enough to this franchise that they have to take it at 8. There was a couple of years ago, they could not do anything but take an offensive lineman. It had to happen. They didn't have enough talent or players on the offensive line. There is not a position or a player that makes so much sense for the Saints that they have to make the move and take that pick at 8. If they can back up 5 or 6 spots and get Reuben Bain or Jordan Tyson or Mekhi Lemon or Caleb Downs, like, I just think this is a no-brainer. Now, you can't, it's nice to say on its face that, like, yeah, just trade back. Somebody's got to want to trade up, feel the need to do that, and then be able to compensate you on the back end. So I can't work all those out. Those are conversations that go on in the dark. But if the Saints are willing, and this front office is willing to stop doing the restructures for the last year and a half, which they basically have, if they're willing to stop trading up in the draft, which they didn't do last year, they have made some real systematic changes. They have done things differently for a year and a half. When it finally became apparent that Dennis Allen was not going to get it done and that Derek Carr wasn't going to be the quarterback and that era was over, something changed. And I truly believe that it's possible that if they got a phone call, they could accrue some more assets. I know last week I got on this very microphone in this very seat and I said, look, Mickey Loomis is on the record. He said, if you trade back, you get a worse player. And so my confidence level that they will do this is remarkably small. But of course, I always add the second layer to that comment, which should have been, Yes, you get, quote unquote, a worse player. You also get more of them. And more is good for this team. How many times have I said they got to get younger, they got to get cheaper? The only way to get younger and cheaper is to draft players. Free agents are not younger, and they're certainly not cheaper. So you've got to take draft picks. And the situation New Orleans is in this year, with 4 or 5 positions of need and not a slam dunk problem solver that you've got to have at 8, it just makes so much sense. And everyone, when they mock a trade for the Saints and it goes back, they go, Loomis never does this, Loomis never does it. Well, maybe Loomis could do it. Maybe Kellen Moore could suggest we should probably do this. Maybe Ireland can get in his ear and go, this is a different era for us. This is not the end of the Breeze era. This is not holding on for dear life in the Dennis Allen, Derek Carr era. This is the beginning of the Kellen Moore, Tyler Shuck era. How do you get an era going? You get young, cheap players. Where do they come from? The draft. And these names that are rattling off, you never know how it's going to fall. We never know what the draft is going to fall like. Once Mendoza's off the board on Thursday, like, dominoes are going to start flying. But there's enough ammo here in these mock drafts that suggests that if the Saints can go back 5 or 6 spots, there is a reasonable talent at a position of need right there every time they do this. And I don't know what the Saints board says, and I don't know. They may have just Carnell Tate just circled 20 times on the board. I don't know. They may think it's Bain or bust, and we're taking him at 8. I don't know. But there are good players available at 10, 12, 16. And if you can get multiple picks or a high pick in return, I love the way the board looks in this first round with what the Saints need. I do. And I realize how silly this feels to do 15 minutes on this. I trust me, I'm fully aware of it. However, sometimes the thing that makes the most sense is the thing to do. And in this instance, if you can make it work, if there's an offer on the table, which is the part we can't analyze, I would love it. Now, Jordan, you got black and gold in your blood.
Yeah, you cut me right now. It's coming out.
Can we do this? Can we get this done? Are you okay with it? Are you okay with these names I'm listing?
Oh, of course. I mean, of course, all these names, because these are the same guys we can get at 8. So, yeah, of course. Any of those names, especially Bain, especially getting him at 12 and you move down a couple spots, that would be great. But, again, we're talking about Mickey Loomis. I know. It's just like, it's just this guy has shown his colors so much. It's like, I know this is a zebra. This zebra's not going to just get up and start talking like a lion or something like that. He's a zebra.
He's got his stripes.
He's got his stripes. We know what he's going to do. He's either going to trade up or he's going to sit where he's at. So I would love for Mickey Loomis to recruit some assets, especially doing a deal with Dallas, Jerry Jones, man. He's willing to might even trade you next year's first round pick too if you talk to him the right way. So
talk to me.
Oh yeah,
talk to me.
So in that sense, I would love to trade down, especially because I will say this though, Hunt. I'm a little worried about the Giants at 10 right now. I'm a little worried about the Saints missing out and letting somebody, just something about them moving up to that 10th spot, you know, that Dexter Lawrence trade, and just something about them being right under the Saints NFC team, the Bengals AFC. In the
ESPN mock draft, which already has this baked in, the Dexter Lawrence trade baked in, they've got the Giants taking Caleb Downs.
I'm a little scared about that. That's like you look back at it. How did Saints let a Hall of Famer go to the Giants right here? And they could have took him at 8 and then let a Hall of Famer go to the Giants. So I'm a little worried about that because I was able to sleep good at night with the Bengals, AFC. I don't have to worry about y'all. Cool, y'all can get whoever you want. But an NFC team, and we play the Giants a lot. I'm a little worried about that. But trading down, I'm okay.
Jordan Tyson, I realize the injury concerns, but
he's special.
In the ESPN mock draft, they've got him going at 16. In the CBS mock draft, they've got Jordan Tyson going at. Oh, is he way early? Let me see. Make sure I'm not missing something there.
I'll tell you what. I'll take him at 12.
Yeah, they had him at 10.
I'll take him at 12, instead of Bain.
Yeah.
If Tyson's there at 12, I'm fully okay with taking him at 12 too. That makes a little bit more sense, with his injury history too.
It does. It's there's just so much there if you can find a dance partner to move back a little bit. But I promise you this.
Yes.
That will be the last trade back segment I do before Thursday. We've exhausted the trade back discussion. It's over. Until it happens, it's not worth any further discussion. However, we'll talk about who the Saints could take as we move forward this week. But it struck me because today I didn't have a Saints angle, and I was like, let's just read. And so I sat there for about 45 minutes and read draft stuff. And as I went through the mocks, I just kept looking back at the 12, 13, 6, pick 16. I'm like, that got good. That would be fine. Like, well, if you can get more picks for it, throw me a second rounder. Love it. We'll see. And I'm carrying the optimism that I carried with the Quincy Riley pick, with the Danny Stutzman pick, with some of the work the Saints did in the middle rounds last year. Even Devin Neal. I'm carrying some optimism from that and hopeful that they can cash in again. So we'll see. NFL draft cranks up on Thursday. Ross Jackson is all over it for us at LouisianaSports.net. Ross has kind of sneakily nailed the first-round pick in his pre-draft column the last 2 years. So I'll be very much on the lookout for what Ross is snooping around looking for and what he comes up with later on in the week. I saw our weekly schedule for LouisianaSports.net when the content's coming out, and Ross will make that projection coming up on Thursday. So I'll be very much glued into that, looking forward to it, and I'm sure Ross will be on AFR as the week unfolds as well. But if you want to read about it for free, you can at LouisianaSports.net. All right, what was wrong with Garrett Nussmeier this year? We learned something new. We'll talk about it next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Speaking of Garrett Nussmeier and injuries and diagnosis, Ochsner is here to help. And you can go to their symptom tracker online at ochsner.org/findcare and determine where it is you need to go within the Ochsner system based on what you're experiencing. If you're looking for comprehensive and continuous care, your annual checkups, immunizations, maybe some asthma, mild stomach aches, or chronic disease management, looking at your blood pressure, cholesterol, blood sugar, that's going to be primary care. And you can do virtual visits in there, schedule at www.ochsner.org/brprimary. If you need immediate care, their urgent cares will accommodate you. If you got sprains, broken bones, lacerations, ear infection, minor burns, rashes, skin irritations, you can walk in. They've got extended hours, and you can find a location for urgent care at ochsner.org/urgent care. If you've got severe or life-threatening issues, emergency care is necessary. Go to the ER, call 911 for severe chest pain, severe asthma, head trauma, allergic reactions, maybe sudden vision loss. You need to be seen immediately. Dial 911. For 24/7 virtual care options, schedule online through My Ochsner. You can download the My Ochsner app at www.ochsner.org/myo. They've also got Ochsner on call at 1-800-231-5257. A nurse can help direct you to the best care option. That's for our friends at Ochsner.
This is the Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Talk a little baseball coming up in 15 minutes. Right now, football. Butterfly effect is a crazy thing. And one thing happens, and then everything happens in response to that. And the butterfly effect from Garrett Nussmeier's physical ailments in the fall is significant. I mean, look at this. A head coach got fired. An athletic director got fired. A new coach got hired. A lot of dominoes have fallen. And I'm not here to tell you that things would have been completely different if Nussmeier was completely healthy all year. But his physical ailments certainly didn't help. And we didn't really know what was going on. If I can take you back to August, we saw that Garrett Nussmeier wasn't throwing at practice, right? That had me a little antsy. And we heard that he had patella tendonitis. And we heard that he had some oblique stuff, and Brian Kelly talked about it, and Nussmeier dismissed the whole thing. And finally, he just shut it down. he just stopped after 9 games. And we never really knew what the issue was. Well, Tom Pelissero has a report up for NFL Network. Said former LSU quarterback Garrett Nussmeier underwent tests at the NFL Combine that revealed a cyst on his spine, the root cause of the persistent oblique pain that derailed his 2025 season. The cyst was pressing on a nerve, Pelissero writes, which just doesn't sound very comfortable at all, causing discomfort in Nussmeier's oblique. He has been asymptomatic since just prior to the Senior Bowl and throughout the draft process. If that changes down the road, Nussmeier could undergo a minimally invasive procedure and miss just 2 to 3 weeks while the stitches heal. Either way, doctors say there's no short or long-term risk for Nussmeier, who is projected a mid-round pick in this week's NFL draft. So a cyst on his spine did not allow him to throw. And what's interesting to me is that Garrett Nussmeier said at the NFL Combine that he got hurt on day 2 of fall camp. Here's the quote. My injury occurred in fall camp, day 2, practice 2 of fall camp. How much did it affect me? I think it was pretty evident. I really wasn't able to throw the football. I had a stabbing pain in my ab every time I went to throw the ball. And he said that at the Combine, he was fine. He said at the Senior Bowl, which was the last week in January into February 1st, he said he felt great. So the thing that I'm curious about, it doesn't really matter. What matters is that Garrett's healthy moving forward, because what's done is done, right? But what's odd to me is if he had a cyst pressing up against his spine in August, and then he went to the Senior Bowl in January and had the highest velocity of the quarterbacks there and the longest throw there, and then at the Combine a month and a half later, they found the cyst in the testing? That doesn't. I'm a little confused at the timeline here. So what made it feel better in December when you didn't even know what it was? Apparently, it's odd, but it's a wild sequence of events that have led LSU to this point where you've literally now got a new athletic director and Ole Miss's football coach. Partly due, now you may say 60%, you may say 4%, partly due to the fact that the quarterback had a cyst on his spine. That is not great fortune for a lot of people involved. Garrett Nussmeier threw for over 4,000 yards his junior season. Those numbers this past year shrunk to 1,900. He threw 29 touchdowns in 2024. He threw 12 in 9 games. I'm hopeful that Garrett is healthy. I'm hopeful that he finds a really comfortable landing spot on Friday or Saturday and that he enjoys a really long NFL career. Just not a lot storybook about his final season at LSU. And the bad break that gets. I mean, it's one thing to have a knee problem. It's one thing to, tear an oblique muscle. It's one thing to have a concussion or to get hurt playing the game. It's another altogether to have a freak medical issue like that nobody immediately points to and figures out. And it persisted and persisted and persisted. Again, I'm a little confused on the timeline. I don't think that matters because NFL teams will figure out who knew what when and what it means for the future. But we were so excited for this football season. LSU spent so much money on that roster from so many people. And the linchpin of the whole thing was the returning senior quarterback. And theoretically, 2 days in, he's got a cyst on his spine and is unable to play the position. Sometimes, not often, but sometimes, I will take a step back from my passion in this and, of course, my job in this. I'll take a step back and go, man, this is a silly thing to care so much about. I zap back into it, and I'm locked back in, and I'm caring a lot. But when you consider the impact that this had, holy cow, a story that we'll talk about for a very, very long time. We do What If Wednesday every Wednesday, right? What if Garrett Nussmeier doesn't get a cyst form on his back, on his spine? Is Brian Kelly still here? Is Scott Woodward still here? I don't know. Is Will Wade here?
Hunt, when you think about it, man, how in the world did we go from, he tweaked his knee to, he has a cyst on his back that is affecting his he can't throw.
And that's the thing. Like, I don't believe that we're entitled to that information.
True.
Some people are. Like, I need to know. But again, like I just mentioned the Will Wade, like Will Wade's not here. Scott Woodward's still here.
Not even close.
And Scott Woodward's probably still here if A&M doesn't beat LSU by 1,000. And that was Garrett Nussmeier's last game.
Was his last game?
It's like he can't play anymore. It's just the butterfly effect here is just it's tens of millions of dollars and massive amounts of employment issues based on how this thing went down. And we were just so keyed up in August of last year. They went out there and beat Clemson. You're thinking, all right, top five, here they come. They got a defense now. They got just an absolute implosion of the entire athletic department.
All right. If you could tell me right now, you can bottle up that feeling I had when we beat Clemson week 1 and just sell that. I'm thinking, we're back, baby.
It was good. I was in Tiger Stadium. My guy BT was all fired up. Babe was
Tigers is back.
Babe was loving it. It's like, all right, welcome in Louisiana Tech.
And we couldn't score. And then it was like, oh, okay. Then you still couldn't score. And it's like, Southeastern only 25. All right, what's going on here?
Just crazy stuff. Maybe it's the butterfly effect. Maybe Lane Kiffin goes and wins 2 national championships. Will Wade gets to a Final Four, and everything happens for a reason in the butterfly effect. You just had to endure what is going to be the worst season and year of male athletics in LSU since the mid-'70s. This will be the first time since the mid-'70s that LSU will finish with a losing SEC record in football, men's basketball, and baseball. First time since the mid-'70s. That'll have happened.
That's a good fun fact.
Yeah, it's not great. And guess who's been there for every step of it, writing game recaps for LouisianaSports.net? This guy. Talking about it 10 hours a week. This guy. Not great.
It's a little trauma dump.
Yeah, so let's talk more about the baseball team that hasn't won a game in 2 weeks. We'll do that when we come back.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
First American Bank and Trust. First American Bank and Trust. FABT.com. Started up in 1910. Still here 116 years later. Grown to 25 locations throughout Southeast Louisiana. So no matter where you are, if you're on the I-12 corridor listening to us and you're Tangipahoa or St. Tammany, they got First American Bank and Trust. You're down the Bayou, St. James, Lafourche, Terrebonne. They got First American Bank and Trust. Just outside Baton Rouge, Dutchtown, Jones Creek, First American Bank and Trust. Metairie, First American Bank and Trust. Do business with them. Every decision that's made about a commercial loan, personal loan, your loan, is made in Southeast Louisiana by someone who's part of your community. You're not just a line item at First American Bank and Trust. You're part of the community that has fostered the growth of First American Bank and Trust. Get on by and see them. Check them out online, FABT.com, FABT.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Marucci, awesome place. Work on your game as a youth baseball player, youth softball player. If you become a member over there at Marucci, you get key card access. You can go hit in the cages 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Whenever you're up and moving, take some hacks. Bregman's famous for being in there at 2 o'clock in the morning taking swings. I don't know if I necessarily endorse a 2 a.m. batting practice session, but I'm telling you it's not off the table. Marucci would love to have you. They'd love to have you take a tour as well. Go check them out online, maruccisports.com/campus-tour. You can see where they make 1,200 bats every single day. Send them off to the greatest players in the world. That's what makes them the official bat of Major League Baseball. Go learn their story. 20 years ago, this was in business in its infancy. Now it's the official bat of Major League Baseball right here in Baton Rouge. Go check them out at maruccisports.com/campus-tour. Every ticket comes with a 20% discount in the Campus Tour store and in the Hitter's House. That's from our friends at Marucci. Had a few tweets that got some traction this week, so I figured I would just bring them up on the air and kind of give my thoughts on them about LSU baseball. I put out a tweet, and it was a poll. I said, humor me. What's LSU's biggest problem? Now, 39 of you replied to the tweet, and I think 34 of them said all of the above. That wasn't an option. I wanted the biggest. I wanted to see what LSU fans who are living and dying with this team see as its biggest issue. And I think there was some recency bias in this. But offense won the day by a significant amount over starting rotation, bullpen, and defense. Offense got 61% of the vote. The defense got 20% of the vote. The starting rotation got 12% of the vote, and the bullpen got 7% of the vote. And that was basically like what this weekend was. The offense was terrible. The bullpen was really good. But there have been times where the bullpen's been awful. Has come in, hit guys, walked guys, just had no idea where they were throwing the baseball. I don't know that the offense is the biggest problem on this team. It was this weekend. I think the biggest problem on this team has been defense and throwing strikes. And that is everybody involved in the pitching staff. But I just wanted to kind of get a pulse check, and I think there was some recency bias in that. Now, there were some other tweets that I sent out, and one I want to spend a little bit of time talking about. I didn't do a lot of research on this. I just have a sense of what I've been watching. But if you look at the national champions the last 5 years in college baseball, all of them come from the SEC. Mississippi State won it in 21. Ole Miss won it in 2022. LSU in 23. Tennessee in 24. LSU in 25. 5 champs. The following year, they've all face-planted. Face-planted. Mississippi State went 9-21 in league play the next year. Missed the tournament. Ole Miss was worse. They went 6-24 the next year. Missed the tournament. We know about LSU in 2024. They started 3-12. Found a way to rally and go 10-5 down the stretch and got into a regional, but they didn't get out of regional play. They went 13-17 in league play that year. Now, Tennessee had a winning record in 2025, but they were just 16-14. They lost their last 5 SEC series, and they lost 6 of the last 7 SEC series. And then LSU's 6-12. That total record of those 5 teams, defending national champs, brand name baseball programs, is 50-88 in league play. 50-88. Just face-planted. And the reasons are plentiful. Like, Mississippi State was an incredibly veteran team that year. They lost just about everybody off that team. Tanner Allen was like their best guy. Like, they lost everybody. Ole Miss lost most of their guys. LSU loses Cruz, Skeens, Floyd. LSU loses Jobert, Dugas, Beloso, Milazzo, Riley Cooper. You lost a lot. Tennessee lost a ton. Christian Moore was gone. Blake Burke was gone. And also, we know, based on Jay Johnson's stories, that the portal opens after regional play. So Super Regional Week, there are visits going on. And if you get to Omaha and you're away from your campus, you can't host anybody. And Jay Johnson's talked about trying to get Luke Holman while they're trying to win a title in 2023. And you are absolutely at a disadvantage if you're still playing, especially if you're in Omaha. Now, LSU last year was hosting a Super. They got Landon Mack, who's now the Friday night guy for Tennessee. They got him on campus for the Super. Now, they didn't get him because, well, you know why. But that can be an advantage to be able to host at a Super. But then you fly to Nebraska, and if you do your job in Nebraska, you're there for a week and a half. And you can't host anybody. So that's And plus, can you spend as much time on it if you're preparing to win a championship? I mean, if things go the way that they're going right now, Jay Johnson's going to be on an airplane during the portal. He's going to be going to see people. So it's just wild that 5 years in a row, the defending national champion has been bad and has never reached Omaha. It's Tennessee got to a super last year, but they got blasted in Fayetteville. LSU got beaten in the regional round. Ole Miss and Mississippi State just missed the tournament altogether. It's weird deal there. And then the last one that I sent out was LSU's path to the NCAA tournament. I know when I say that out loud that you go, season's over, dude. Stop. And I appreciate that sentiment. I just can't do it. I'm not wired that way. I can't give up on the baseball team. I've seen Murray State make the College World Series last year. I've seen Kent State and Coastal Carolina and Stony Brook make the College World Series. I've seen Oral Roberts make the College World Series. You never know in this sport. I'm quite confident LSU's not going to the College World Series, but I can't quit. I didn't tell you you had to join me in my ridiculous endeavor, and I heard the coach on Friday saying that the roster's flawed and it won't happen again and I can't fix the defense this year and all those kind of, I heard it all. I just can't quit. It's just not there for me. And there's two reasons for that. One, I'm incredibly passionate about baseball. Two, the thought of doing football content in earnest in late May makes my stomach turn a little bit. I just don't want to do that. That just feels like a lot of time to talk about something that's not happening. Because they don't play football in June, and they don't play football in July, and for the most part, they don't play football in August. That's a long time. So I just, personally and professionally, I need this baseball team to hang in there. And so I laid out a roadmap that shows how it could be done. To be very clear, I would bet a significant amount that it doesn't go this way. But it's possible. And I'll lay it out for you. I put this tweet out yesterday morning before LSU played Texas A&M, and I had LSU losing yesterday. I had watched LSU play Texas A&M on Friday and Saturday. When I got to the ballpark on Sunday, I was quite confident LSU was not going to win the game. As I said to open up the show today, A&M completely outclassed LSU from the first pitch to the last pitch on Friday through Sunday. Technically, it was a pretty good first inning by Case and Evans, but quickly, A&M seized control of the game, control of the weekend, and swept LSU. And so I baked into this tweet pregame yesterday, a loss yesterday, and it did happen. So the rest of it still holds. You got to get one in Starkville. You have to win one. Didn't say win the series. You don't have to go sweep like two teams have done. Tennessee went in there and swept them. And Georgia went in there and swept them. You don't have to do that. You don't have to win 2 out of 3. You got to get one. You have to get one in Starkville. One game. That's all I'm asking. Come back home, South Carolina. Here's the tough part. You got to sweep. I got to have 3. Mississippi State had lost 6 league games in a row, like a certain team in purple and gold, and they went to South Carolina and swept them. South Carolina stinks. You have to sweep them. 3 games, need them all. You go to Georgia. They hit a billion baseballs over the fence. They're very good. They lead the SEC. You got to get one. You have to get one. You have to do what you did in Knoxville and hit a bunch of homers. You have to get one game. 1 out of 3. Got to get it. And then you come home to play Florida. And you got to get 2. Got to get 2. If you do that, 1 at State, 3 against South Carolina, 1 at Georgia, and 2 against Florida. That puts you at 13 and 17. And I understand that the RPI is bad, but I don't know for sure that with these road games against high RPI teams, and that we're talking about 7 wins here. I don't know that won't get the RPI in a good enough spot. It might not. I will fully tell you that. But if you're going to sit here now and tell me with that many games against the RPI top 20 and 7 more wins that that's not good enough, I don't believe you. I don't know. You can think it, you don't know it. Because you don't know if people are going to steal bids on conference tournament week. You don't know what the bubble's going to look like. So that's my path. 1 at State, 3 against South Carolina, 1 at Georgia, 2 at home against Florida. Going to be tough to do. This team looks terrible right now in every phase. Terrible in every phase. And I will be completely honest with you. I said this to a lot of people this weekend. I am handling LSU's baseball struggles with the emotional maturity of a 7-year-old. I'm doing extremely poorly with it. I don't like it. I'm not a grown-up. I'm not focusing on other things. I'm not just ditching it and thinking about football. I'm handling it extremely poorly. I'm a whiny little baby about it. It is what it is. I don't like it. But I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up. And in my tweet, after that path I laid out, I said, and you know what? For good measure, if you can go get 1 in Hoover, great. Now, for 3 minutes here, I'm going to give you small reasons for confidence. Mississippi State has not played as well as they did early in the season. South Carolina is terrible. And Florida is Jekyll and Hyde. Also, Devin Sheeran looks awesome. I still have trust in Zach Cowan. Marcos Paz has been very good. Gavin Guidry had a good start. Connor Binge has quietly done his job and gotten some outs. I want to see more of him. I still think Derek Curiel's really good. I still think Jake Brown is really good. I think Kaden Beatty's had some great at-bats. I loved the fact that Omar Cerna ripped an RBI single into right field yesterday that looked really mature. And there's a possibility in the next week that Cooper Moore can help. And those are some outs that you haven't had the luxury of him eating up. Maybe he can be a 12-out guy in some of these series against South Carolina and Florida when you need some more arms. Cooper Moore's a decent pitcher, and he can help. You haven't had him. And that shuffles where some guys are in the lineup. LSU was okay on defense this week. Pearson made 1 mistake, and you had a wild pitch, 2 of them. But you didn't walk everybody. You just got beat by a really good team, and A&M's really good. So I'm not telling you that I'm the brightest guy in the world. I'm not telling you that I'm being reasonable. In fact, probably being unreasonable. But I don't have another gear. This is the only one I have. I just can't quit on them. It's beyond comprehension that I'm excited to get in the car and drive to Starkville this weekend to watch them play on the road against a talented team. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And they make me regret it coming home on Sunday. But I want to see the stadium, and I'm not going to give up hope. Anything can change in a weekend. I told you that on Friday. Now, things got worse since Friday when I talked to you, but I can't quit. I know that some of you are wired like me, and I know that most of you do a little bit better than that. And you may be on to football, but I'm going to stay entrenched until it's over. We'll see. Come back and close it out next.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Fabry Chevrolet GMC. They're online at fabrychevrolet.com. Make that short drive to St. Francisville. It's a lovely drive. My wife and I made it about a month ago. Celebrated our 5th anniversary up there. It's quick. If you're in Baton Rouge, be there in 20, 25 minutes. If you're north of Baton Rouge and Zachary or Baker, quicker than that. Feliciana's, obviously, very close. And you can get over there from Point Capee Parish as well. They got great deals and great people at Fabry Chevrolet GMC. You know the Fabry family. They've been at this for 35 years in Baton Rouge. They take their customer service very, very seriously. And that's why they've been as successful as they have been. So have a wonderful buying experience. Get behind the wheel of a great car for a great deal. Up to $11,000 off Silverados, up to $13,000 off GMC Sierras. If you need a new truck, Fabry Chevrolet GMC is your stop. Get by and see him at St. Francisville. Start that buying process online at fabrychevrolet.com.
You're listening to The Hunt Palmer Show, brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. Guarantee Health Solutions, guiding healthcare forward. GuaranteeHealth.com.
Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions, online at GuaranteeHealth.com, GuaranteeHealth.com. The team at Guarantee Health Services Solutions managed over 1 million patients last year. If you're in the healthcare space and you're struggling with your Net Promoter Score, they can help you at Guarantee Health Solution. In fact, they brought one partner's Net Promoter Score from 65 to 90 in just 3 months. They can make a difference in your patient's journey to care. They can help manage your website, help manage the front desk, make sure that when your patients walk through the door, they're taken care of and they have a positive experience in your practice. It's just what they do at Guarantee Health Solutions. They can do marketing for you, website evaluations, SEO engagement, manage events, do traditional advertising like radio and television. They're guiding healthcare forward at Guarantee Health Solutions. You can find them online at GuaranteeHealth.com, GuaranteeHealth.com. All right, let's play some Take It or Leave It.
Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it.
Today's hottest stories in sports, news, and sometimes even Hunt's life. The question is, will he take them or leave them?
All right, Hunt. So the NBA playoffs are going on, and with the Magic beat the Pistons. Well, with the Pistons losing to the Magic, they now have the longest losing streak in the playoffs in NBA history with 11 straight playoff games. They haven't won a playoff game since the 2008 Eastern Conference Finals versus the Boston Celtics. So is this a worse record than not making the playoffs overall? Take it or leave it. You got to think about it.
I got to leave it.
Got to leave it?
You got to make the playoffs.
Okay.
I mean, making the playoffs is the first part of this deal. It's one of those deals. It's like, is Jordan going to 6 finals and winning them all better than LeBron going to, what did he go to, like 9 or 10 and win?
There's like 9 in a row. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's you want to get to the
gotta get there
to the spot first. But yeah, it's not a great look. I know that Oakland A's lost to the Yankees like 8 times in a row in the playoffs.
Goodness.
Just couldn't win a game. That's frustrating for sure. Detroit had a great year. They're not done, obviously, but they've had a great year.
Oh, they definitely can come back, but goodness, since 2008, my goodness.
I was sophomore at LSU, 2008.
Well, this was when the prime of Kevin Garnett, who's been retired. He's in the Hall of Fame now, so it's a long time ago. So the Portland Trailblazers president, Dwayne Hankins, said fans won't receive T-shirts. They'll do the playoff T-shirts where they try and color out the building. Well, in response to that, we did it for Game 3 and 4. In response to that, the Spurs for Game 1, they colorfuled out the whole entire arena. Guys, you can show the picture, please. I have a picture for you.
Oh.
I thought the picture was going to pop up.
It's right there.
Okay,
we got it.
Yeah. So they did this in response to the Blazers saying they're not going to have T-shirts for the fans. So not giving fans T-shirts, take it or leave it.
Leave it. Put the T-shirts
Leave it alone.
But I don't know how I feel about the multicolored Spurs logo.
Oh, you're not a fan of the Fiesta?
I feel like I kind of like just going with the black and gray.
They probably will do some black and gray, but I just think it was more like, hey, y'all not going to give them T-shirts? Or
There's
show y'all
nothing
something?
I've lost the plot more on than NBA uniforms. They have
it's crazy.
They've completely lost me.
No,
Nobody has their team name on the uniform. It's just like some slogan.
Yeah.
No one wears their real colors. They wear whatever color they want that night.
Pelicans wear black and green.
Yeah, I can't black. That's so I can't
that's our
figure it
best
out.
jerseys. That's the problem. Our best jerseys.
Skeletor
Yeah, the
jerseys?
skeletons. Yeah, the skeletons.
Terrible.
Like, that's the problem. Okay, so Brandon Aubrey and the Dallas Cowboys finally reached an agreement to make him the highest paid kicker in NFL history. 4-year contract extension, $7 million per year, $20 million guaranteed. So $20 million guaranteed for a kicker. Take it or leave it.
Take it.
Ooh, I'll take it.
Kickers score points.
Fantasy.
Points are good. And he can score points from midfield, which is very good. So, yeah, I think that's worth it. Kickers are very important. We saw Sean Payton go through them like socks around here.
I mean, groupie. Come on now. We still going through it.
Groupie.
We still going through it.
I think that's just fine. You got a guy that can make it happen. He's the best kicker maybe ever in terms of his ability to change games. So So think about the difference in winning and losing an NFL game so often is to try to get a field goal late. And if you only have to get to the midfield at the end of a drive in a 2-minute, that's not hard to do. You can cash it in. So, yeah, that's a good deal for the Dallas.
So that's it for Take It or Leave It.
All right, Monday show is brought to you by Guarantee Health Solutions. That's it for us. You missed any of the show today. A lot of baseball, a lot of football, some Saints draft talk as well. Find it wherever you find your sound. Search Hunt Palmer Show. Hunt on Saints for all your Saints information. Hunt on LSU for all your LSU information. Excited about tomorrow's show. LSU does have another spring football practice. Tomorrow we will be out there at 9:50. We'll have a practice report up LouisianaSports.net, and we will talk about it on tomorrow's show. Get you ready for LSU and UNO in midweek baseball as well. Matt's going to drive you home next. We're out of here. It's Hunt Palmer Show.
The Hunt Palmer Show.
Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. Neil and Melissa have been running Boudreaux's Electrical for 40 years. Locally owned and operated, a family business, Boudreaux's Electrical Services. So if you need that Generac home standby generator, it's one call. It's Boudreaux's Electrical. Go with the local option. You can buy a Generac home standby generator from the big box store. Absolutely, you can do it. Will you ever hear from them again? Probably not. At Boudreaux's Electrical, you're going to have a local team come and install that generator. They will monitor that generator. They will do the maintenance on that generator so that when you need that generator to kick in and turn your power on in the event of a loss, it's ready to go. That's what you get at Boudreaux's Electrical. Give them a call. 985-397-1562. Again, that's 985-397-1562 or 225-300-9389. 225-300-9389. Go with the local option for your Generac home standby generator. Go with the folks at Boudreaux's Electrical.